Hello and welcome to How to Love Your Body. We are your intuitive eating counselors here to wrap up the last 3 principles in the intuitive eating book. So we're in our series still of the intuitive eating principles, and we are covering principle 8, 9, and 10, respect your body, movement, and quote unquote gentle nutrition.
How to love your body.
So we definitely kind of have our own versions of these, especially the exercise and nutrition principles. So we will give a bit of our own perspective and why you might not want to solely base your ideas off of these principles in the book, but we will get to that shortly. And let's start with principle 8, respect your body. So the summary is accept your genetic blueprint. Just as a person with a shoe size of 8 would not expect to realistically squeeze into a size 6, it is equally futile and uncomfortable to have the same expectation about body size. But mostly, respect your body so you can feel better about who you are. It's hard to reject the diet mentality if you are unrealistic and overly critical about your body shape. So that's kind of the main thing they're getting across is we have genetics. We got to get cool with that, just as we accept skin color, eye color, shoe size, height. Weight is also something that is predetermined by a lot of factors. And then, of course, someone might say, well, when I diet, I can get thin, though. So how is that true? Well, that's a temporary manipulation of our body size, but the reason some people might diet and still be in a larger body is because of genetics, and another person might not diet and be very thin, and they can just eat whatever they want, quote unquote, and they've never gained weight. Like that is not within anyone's control. Those are genetics. So the book says it really is a paradox because our experience has shown us that if you're meant to get to your natural ideal weight, you need to loosen up on yourself, put weight loss on the back burner, and treat your body with respect. So with dieting, your weight fluctuates because you're on, you're off, you're binging, you're restricting. So you really fluctuate. And it's been shown that most people will go up and down, but the trend is going upwards overall. So if you look back at when you started dieting, you were likely thinner then than you are now. It is not because I think a lot of people think, well, thank God I dieted all those years. Imagine how big I would be if I didn't. It's like, actually, that dieting may have you larger now than you were before, which is fine. It's not a problem. There's no judgment on that. But we know that all that dieting, that was not your goal. So if you just let go and listen to your body and treat it with respect, you will find that you do find a middle ground that might not be as thin as you once wished you could be, or might not be as thin as you once were. I know I definitely do not weigh what I weighed when I started dieting, but my body has found a happy place, a middle ground where it's at peace, it's cool, like I can just eat regularly, and this is where my body stays, essentially. Obviously, there's fluctuations due to other life circumstances, but it's pretty steady, whereas dieting, it's always I'm up, I'm down, I'm turning around. It's all over the place.
It's a mess. Yeah, I really do love the word respect, because I feel like if it was like accept your body or love your body or what a different word, it might come off, even though I really love those words. Accept and love is great. But the thing about respect is like it kind of gives you the freedom to be okay with not loving everything, liking everything, even being okay with it. You could still have your emotions of like, but I'm angry that it's not this way. Because, a lot of us probably come from a place of like, I just want to be able to control everything. Like, I definitely do. But respect, it kind of is like, okay, I can feel all those things about my body, because this is what we're talking about, our body. But, you could put this into other terms of your life. It's like, okay, you could be all those things and you can still give respect towards your body. Just like if you are really mad at somebody or angry at somebody or anything that's going on, you probably are still giving respect to that person, even if you have all this turmoil inside. And not that you have to have turmoil inside about your body but it gives you the kind of like the room to be like, okay, I'm not I'm not loving this. I'm really not. I'm not liking this. I'm not loving this. I'm not cool with this. And you know what? I think I can give respect to my body just to start. And then you keep going through the work. And hopefully that can shift into more of acceptance, maybe even a little bit of love or like. But there's no pressure here with any of the emotions.
Yeah.
The one
And
thing is respect.
And I do think it's all those words: accept, love, like, respect. We have to understand we're not talking about the way your body looks.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, oh, you need to love the way your body looks. You need to like the way your body looks. You need to accept the way your body looks.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're accepting your body as a being. Like, I accept that this is my body. This is the only one I'm going to have. And I need to work with it because I have no other choice. I don't get to choose another body. This is the one I have. It's not, oh, I accept the way it looks or I love the way it looks. I mean, most people living in the society we live in are unlikely to say, I love the way my body looks completely 100% every inch. But you might say, wow, I love that my body functions for me and I get to live this life in it. So just like uncoupling the looks from these words is important. Okay, so it says, respecting and appreciating your body is the beginning of making peace with your body and your genetics. It is probably the most difficult thing that you will do. I definitely agree with that. If you could place your priorities on making peace with food in your body, aka becoming an intuitive eater, it will allow you to loosen up. Otherwise, it will be a constant tug of war. And that is kind of like control. Always, we like that we can control things. But when you think about it, that's a lot of pressure. If it's your job to control your body like to the T, it's your job to control what you eat. And it's your job to control your muscle mass by working out this amount. And it's your job to control your waist size by doing this. That's a lot of pressure. But if it's like, wow, I don't have control, it's just my job to respect and take care of my body how I see fit. That's like, oh, you don't have to micromanage everything. You can just exist and take care of it in the ways you want that feel good. So I think that like taking micromanaging off the plate can feel really good. Whereas this idea might sound really stressful at first, but if you think about it, it's actually like a way to reduce stress. It says those who have trouble respecting their bodies often find themselves in conflict. When you feel loathsome toward your body, they struggle with intense desire to diet and just get the weight off. And I always felt that is that like knee-jerk reaction of panic of like, oh, I've gained weight. I got to start that diet tomorrow. And it's got to be extreme. I just need to do this and get it done. And like there's this panicking feeling. Whereas if you're respecting your body, you're like, okay, body, you're doing your thing. I may not like the way that looks, but I'm going to go for a walk today. I might not like the way that looks, but I'm going to eat this meal because I'm hungry. I need to eat. Like you can take actions that are more steady. They're more self-honoring instead of this knee-jerk reaction of panic. And that's what comes with trying to control everything. It's kind of dropping off, letting it go, then freaking out and getting back on again. And that is so exhausting. Okay. And then this is kind of what Lauren was talking about, the respect piece. You don't have to like every part of your body to respect it. In fact, you don't have to immediately accept where your body is now to respect it. Respecting your body means treating it with dignity and meeting its basic needs. So what is respecting your body? Let's get into that so you can actively practice it this week. So these are kind of the main tenets of body respect in the book. My body deserves to be fed. So no matter your size, no matter how you're feeling, you need to eat. Like that is a function.
And no matter what you ate yesterday.
Yeah, we need food. My body deserves to be treated with dignity. So poking and prodding and like belittling yourself, there's no need for that. It's not respect. My body deserves to be dressed comfortably and in the manner to which I am accustomed. So being comfortable physically has a lot to do with wearing clothes. We live in a society where you need to be clothed to leave your home pretty much. So dressing in a way that's not so constrictive or not so, oh, I have to dress this way to look this way so that I'm accepted in this way. It's like, well, actually those jeans are too tight, or those Spanx are so uncomfortable. I don't have to do that anymore. And being physically comfortable can help so much with body like acceptance. Mm-hmm. My body deserves to be touched affectionately and with respect. I mean, there's been lots of studies that show that like touch is really important and you can have like withdrawals from it. And so I know with the pandemic and everything, that's been really hard to be away from people. So that's a part of it. And then my body deserves to move comfortably. So that's moving your body, but you don't need to be in pain or going so hard that it hurts. Like you can move, and movement is absolutely a part of this work, but you can do it comfortably. So I'll just cover two of the things that I think are the things that happen a lot is how to show your body respect, quit the body check game. And I mean, I think everyone's done this as a dieter. I definitely did this. I have it's emotional because I have vivid memories of standing in front of my mirror in my dorm at college and like lifting my shirt up and looking at my stomach. Like I have a visual picture of me doing that. Like that is not an important moment. I've forgotten much bigger things than that snapshot. But like I know, like I vividly remember doing that because I had so much emotion tied to it. So we need to stop. And a lot of people go like, how do I stop? It's like, you just got to be consciously aware you're doing it and stop yourself before you do it. And then when you stop yourself, emotions are going to come up, fears are going to come up, and you can reflect on, what am I getting from body checking? Because when you stop doing it, that's when you can actually self-reflect. If you just keep doing it and keep playing the game and keep giving into that, you're never going to learn anything about yourself. So when you're going up to me, you're like, oh, I'm about to like go look at my stomach. Stop yourself, and it's going to be uncomfortable. And think, what's coming up for me? What am I trying to achieve from this? Because it probably doesn't make you feel good.
No. And it's like you're definitely leading yourself like straight into the fire. Like the second you go to the mirror to body check, and there's other ways to body check. If even stepping on the scale every day, that is body checking because you're weight checking. Or even putting on clothes to see if they still fit correctly, which is, that's quote unquote correctly, because what does that even mean? So getting rid of all of those things are so important because we just know, I don't know why we do it. I say we because we've done it too. It's like, it's the last thing that's actually going to help you is to go body check. To even if you we're like, oh, okay, I checked my weight, or I looked in the mirror. Okay, I look okay. Or, oh, the weight is fine. I didn't gain weight. That still gives you the pressure to control your body. So you really are you're just fueling the fire by continuing to do all these things. And I can tell from my past is yes, I did a lot of body checking in my past. And I know that only continued the thoughts times a million. And I know when you kind of step away from that, it can reduce so much. It can reduce triggers. It can reduce thoughts. It is more self-honoring. So that's a huge reason why you want to step away from the body checking. Just a simple thing of body checking can be so astronomical. And that's why just stopping it can be also astronomical in a healing way.
Well, if you continue doing what you're doing, you're going to continue doing what you're doing. Like if you keep body checking, you're going to keep thinking about your body all the time. It's like, okay, we're still doing this, brain, and your brain is never going to change the way you think if you're doing that. So it is an important thing to stop, even if it's uncomfortable when you do so. The next one is don't compromise for a big event. So whether it's a class reunion or wedding, it's natural to want to look your best at important occasions. It's a subtle form of body checking, but if you succumb to the pressure by dieting down to squeeze into that outfit, it will only backfire. You never want to do things that you don't plan on doing long-term in this work. So I'm kind of giving back more into movement, and it's taken on all sorts of forms lately, but I'm I do want to feel better physically. I want to feel stronger, more capable, more confident, and movement for me, I like it. I just haven't made the time or priority for it. So I have been doing that lately, but I'm not doing anything that I'm going to do this really, really hard for 30 days. Okay, what about day 31? You really want to always think long-term here. It doesn't mean you have to do something forever, but you don't want to do anything at a pace that has an expiry date. I'm going to not eat bread for a week, or I'm going to do this yoga challenge for 30 days. It's why you should be doing nothing for a short period of time. You might think, oh, I want to get back into yoga, and you just start doing it and you ease yourself into it, and you do it in a way that feels sustainable and feels good and feels like it's fueling you, not depleting you. And there's oh, I'm going to burn out, and I'm going to have to stop after 30 days. You want to always be thinking, wow, how can I honor myself long term And then obviously taking the weight out of the equation is just the key for all of the thinking. There's one more thing I wanted to mention on this principle, and then we'll move on to the next. So it says many of our clients discover in hindsight that had they accepted the initial body weight that was the cause of their first diet, they would be happy with that very same weight today. Instead, they've dieted their bodies to a bigger size. So often we hear, if only I knew then what I know now, I thought I was heavy in high school. Now I would kill for that body. And that's so funny because we've done some posts on that went pretty big of like, when you're 16, you're like, oh, I need to lose weight. And then when you're 32, oh, I wish I had the body I had when I was 16. And then when you're 45, oh, I wish I had the body I had when I was 32. And then when you're 60, oh, I wish I had the body I had when I was 45. When are we going to stop that cycle? We need to get into that headspace now of like, oh, in 20 more years, I'm going to be saying that about now. So I need to start accepting this body now because it's not going to get better by dieting. Like this, nothing is going to be improving. You're not all of a sudden going to click and find that diet that just keeps you thin forever or is easy forever. Because I stayed thin for a long time and I'm still in the straight size body, but I was at like the thinner side of dieting for 10 years with fluctuations. But that way of living, my mindset, my insanity over it, honestly, was not something I could do for the rest of my life or wanted to do for the rest of my life. So it wasn't maintainable, even though the weight maintained within a range, that way of living was not maintainable. So nothing's going to get better. You're not going to find a diet that works and makes you happy. So we need to get on board with like, oh, if I had accepted my body, then I would have been happy now. So let's start accepting my body now so that in 20 years, I'm happy and at peace.
And if you're happy and at peace, I would say that sounds like the best goal there is, regardless. If you're happy and at peace, it really doesn't matter what your body looks like because anybody can maintain, well, even happiness and peace, there's fluctuations in that as well. But if you are happy and at peace with your body, then you are free.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that the point? Like, what were you trying to lose weight for? Probably to be happy and at peace. So like, let's just do that instead of.
Let's just do that now. Like we finally get to like skip all the hard and just get to the acceptance and the happiness and the peace in this moment, especially in regards to your body.
Yeah.
Okay, great. We have 2 more principles. So principle 9 is movement, feel the difference. So the little blurb is forget militant exercise, just get active and feel the difference. Shift your focus to how it feels to move your body rather than the calorie burning effect of exercise. If you focus on how you feel from working out, such as energized, it can make the difference between rolling out of bed for a brisk morning walk or hitting the snooze alarm. So, of course, there's nothing wrong with hitting the snooze alarm. And they're saying if you're only doing it to go burn some calories and you have to go do something really hard, maybe a nice brisk walk would have just been like so lovely to start your morning. And that's good enough. And I think that's where we have really learned. I say we as Jenna and I, we know that just doing anything that feels good in your body is good enough, even if it is 10 minutes. Because in my past, I mean, I've talked about this before. I grew up an athlete. So I really do think that affected my relationship with movement, even outside of dieting, because it was militant and it had to be. Like it was like competitive sports. I played, soccer at a young age and I went into club at a young age, which was highly, highly competitive. And then it went into, high school was kind of fun. And then I went through college. And so I was kind of messed up in many different ways with movement because it was like I hated fitness. Of course, it's like, okay, you're playing soccer for your life, but the soccer portion was fun. The games was fun, but it's like doing the fitness was really hard. So coming out of, as a dieter and then someone who's always been forced to work out, I really had this really unhealthy, addictive relationship with it where it's like no pain, no gain. You have to work as hard as you can. You have to burn as many calories as you can. Like if you're not dying, why are you even here? Like if I didn't leave the gym or a yoga class or wherever I went completely depleted, it was like, did that even count? And I'm so happy that my relationship has changed because I did feel the difference. because now I can genuinely do it because I'm actually finding like a new love for moving these days, and it's continuing to evolve because I did come from that athletic background, and of course I'm not playing competitive sports anymore, so I'm not forced to do anything anymore. So now it's like, wow, you can actually ask yourself, what is it that you actually want to do? Because I do know that movement does make me feel good. I am an active person. I did come from a background of sports, which of course I loved, and love-hate relationship. But now I can really find what is it that you want to do. And if it's a 10-minute walk, that's fine. If it's an hour walk, that's fine. If I like jumping on my Peloton, that's great. If I want to do a 45-minute Peloton or a 30-minute bike ride or a 20-minute, I can really figure out, oh, what do I feel today? And typically I like to just gear towards going towards the 20-minuters. Like, it's really great. I can get on, I feel good. It's not so much of my day. And it feels sustainable because it's not like, I know, like I really love getting on the Peloton and riding the bike. But if they only offered 60-minute classes, I honestly don't think I would have Peloton because I don't want to do 60-minute classes every single day, if ever. I have done them before, and sometimes it's like, yeah, that's so great. And then it's like, oh, I have the option of doing less, and it's like an actual activity that I love. And now I'm really, really getting into roller skating. And it's been the most fun experience, and I'm really not that good, it's hard because I'm like, I just want to be good. I come back from like, I'm an athlete, so I want to be like really good at it. And it's a little frustrating that I'm not that good, but I'm like, I'm genuinely having fun with this. Like, you don't even have to be good. You're moving your body. It's a hobby, but it's also movement.
Mhm.
And so I'm having this like kind of amazing, like new relationship now with, I can't believe I actually genuinely can pick roller skating to go move my body. And it's
Yeah,
so
well, and
fun
you're
for
like
me.
having fun and you're with friends and it's like by the beach and it's like that's a whole different experience than like
Oh,
I
it's
am
a
going to this
vibe.
dark gym just to look a certain way a month from now. It's like, oh, I'm going as an actual activity in my day that makes my day better. It makes my like
Hmm.
face smile. And I've also moved my body and kind of got my lungs going a bit. Like,
Totally. So it is a difference. Like, I don't even like feel like I need to like continue to read part of the book because really the point of it, it's like I could be saying this and people will be like, oh my God, I would never get a Peloton. That's horrible. Roller skating, you'll never catch me on roller skates. And that's the beauty of this. We
yeah,
all
you
get
don't
to
have
choose.
to.
No, like I did running and sprints and I had to run around the track for soccer. You will never well, I guess you never say never, but like I genuinely I don't like running. I don't want to go on a run anymore. You'll never find me at the track running around. I don't find joy in that at all. I actually find a lot of horrible, horrible disgust in it because I just brings me back to what I've had to do throughout my life. But like if I think of myself jumping on, the bike or the skates, it's like I have that sense of feeling good. And yeah, movement's great, but you know what also is really great is resting. And you get to listen to your body and rest as well because this is like Jenna was saying it's like this is a long-term thing. This is for the rest of our life and we're going to ebb and flow constantly. So maybe likes that you have now are not going to be likes that you have in 10 years or in a month. And so it might change. So you can genuinely move your body through the rest of your life, whatever comes into your life.
Mhm.
I never roller skated before. I'm, in my 30s now, never roller skated before. Maybe when I was a kid, I did some rollerblading because, you'd never be caught on the roller skates. That wasn't cool. But now it's like, it's just a fun hobby of mine now. So maybe I'll do this for the rest of my life. Or maybe it's just something I like to do right now. But it doesn't matter. There's no agenda. There's no expectation. It's how do you like to move? Go do it. And rest is also just as important as moving your body in a way that feels really good to you.
Mhm.
It could be gentle. For people who like to get the sweat on, that's amazing. Go do that. If people who like to be very gentle with their body, that's great too. There's nothing that's superior. It's not like,
Mhm.
well, they do an hour at the gym. I just like go for a 15-minute walk around my neighborhood when I get a chance. Equally amazing. how does it feel in your body? So it's really like turn it around on you. It's like how do I feel when I do this? And if you can get rid of any thoughts that it's connected, here's the biggest piece. We got to detach it from weight loss or trying to change our bodies. So we've said this a lot, and I think it's a great question is, would you be doing this if you were guaranteed that you were not going to lose weight? And that's
Or look
such
any
a great,
different because of it.
yeah, or change your body in any way. And your body could change. Who knows? We can't control our bodies. But that's like the key question to ask yourself when you are going to move your body. Would I genuinely do this if I was guaranteed no weight loss, no body changing? And for me, if I asked myself that about like getting on the Peloton or doing my skates, absolutely. I would do it. In my present moment, in my present life, I genuinely just enjoy doing it because I like the way it makes me feel, makes me happy. It makes me, the vibe by the beach with the skates and friends and that's like a whole experience. But even just getting on them at the park next to me, it's like it's just fun. It's just a nice little outing. So we ask you to ask yourself that question when
if there's
talking
like
about movement.
nothing you would do if you didn't move your body, it's like take a break then. Like I've taken, like last year I took 6 months where I'm like literally have no expectation that I'm going to move my body at all. Like I'm just taking myself off the hooks. I was very down mentally, so stressed and busy. Our kind of work was very stressful at the time. And I'm like, I can't add one more thing to my calendar. So I don't even want to expect that I'm going to go do something once a week. Like I want to take it completely off my plate. And I did. And then there was a time where I'm like, I don't feel very good. Like I want to start prioritizing my body again and feeling good in my body. And so I've done like 3 different types of movements since I started back. I was like at Orange Theory for a little bit, but then that's a little bit too like intense for me. So I was like, I'm going to quit that. And now I do yoga, but like stretchy, like just lay there and stretch yoga. And then I go to the gym a little bit and do some weights. And that's what I'm doing right now. And that feels really good. But I could also just like decide, I don't want to do that anymore. But right now it's serving me. And so another thing with movement, I do want to, this is kind of you're further along in the journey. So disregard this if you've like just beginning, but a lot of the things people complain about with this work, it's like, I've gained weight. So now I don't feel as strong. Okay. Are you lifting weights? Like, what are you doing to build strength? And lots of people kind of, once you get into this work, you think, now there's nothing I can intentionally do to feel better in my body or to change the ability of my body or to get, like, I can't go lift weights at the gym now because that's diety. It's like, no, you can do whatever you want, but you might not lose weight because of it, but if you lift weights, you are going to feel stronger. You are going to build muscle. Like that's science, it's biology, but your body might not look any different. Your body might not lose any weight. Your body might be the exact same from the outside, but the inside, you're going to function different. You're going to feel different. So you can utilize movement for like the things that you're not happy with in this new work. Whether it be, I have this kind of pain, or I have this, I'm really inflexible, I want to start stretching, or I am feeling really weak and lethargic. Okay, let's get moving. And that could help you if you're in the right, obviously, mind frame and you're in the right time in your life and you want that.
Right. Yeah. So really releasing the idea that like manipulating your body or losing weight, just kind of put that to the side. Okay, now that that's to the side, what do I genuinely want to do? And it could absolutely you could have a goal in some sort, but really check in with that goal, like Jenna was saying, I want to get stronger. So I want to go to the gym and lift some weights because that feels good. And a goal of mine is to feel stronger. Nothing to do with weight loss, nothing to do with changing the way she's eating, just genuinely saying, this is what my body is asking me to do. And I feel good while I'm doing it. After I do it, this is for me. And just to kind of like go backwards a bit, I definitely came from exercise addiction to its max. Like I need to do this every single day. But and now you hear I'm talking about like, I love this. I love this movement. I'm having this new relationship with movement. And you'd be like, okay, like great for you. But honestly, how I got here, it's been a journey. And when I came out of how did I get out of exercise addiction? I stopped exercising. I stopped all of it. I had to take years. I think like, we don't like to put like, timelines on anything because everybody's different. But I know that I took off years of traditional movement, and the only movement I did was I had two dogs. Like, I got two puppies, and I took them on walks. I lived in an apartment, so they needed to go outside, and that was really nice. So every single day, my morning started off just taking them outside and going around the neighborhood, and it was really nice. It was really gentle. And walking was the only form of movement that I did for years, because I really had to like unlearn and detangle so many things with movement, and it wasn't even movement to me. It was like working out and exercise. Like, now I feel much better with the word moving your body. How does it make you feel? It has nothing to do with like performance. Like, sports were great in my lifetime, but I'm actually happy that I don't have to perform anymore. I can just like be. I can just like be a really beginner roller skater and not have to worry about going to be the best. I can just be like having a good time. Yeah. So I think we got like the gist of the movement piece. And this is very, very tied into we like to call it wellness without the obsession, but the book calls it gentle nutrition. But this really goes hand in hand with basically take everything we just said about movement and kind of like put it into the food realm. Is very similar.
Totally. So principle 10 is honor your health with gentle nutrition. I'll read the blurb, but I'm literally like not even going to read the chapter because iffy.
Yeah.
Okay. Make food choices that honor your health and taste buds while making you feel well. Remember that you don't have to eat perfectly to be healthy. You will not suddenly get a nutrient deficiency or gain weight from one snack, one meal, or one day of eating. It's what you eat consistently over time that matters. Progress, not perfection, is what counts. We don't need it. So ignore that.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's still like, oh, you still got to get better. Progress, get better. And what's better? Okay, better means quote unquote healthy foods and less processed food, junk food.
Like, and I ate an unhealthy snack, so now.
But that's okay.
Right.
But I got to progress over. It's like, it's still not the right language, in my opinion. For me, if someone was like, okay, well, what do I do about gentle nutrition? 2 tips. 1, variety. If all you're eating is pizza and ice cream morning, noon, and night, yeah, that's probably not the most nourishing. You might need to do it.
Ask yourself if that feels great to you, hey, go for it. You have body autonomy. Exactly. But how do you feel?
Exactly. And it's unlikely that will feel good long term.
Right.
For most people.
Right.
So, but even if it felt good, there's still logic where it's like, you know what? I want a variety of food. So actually, I would take a step further from that. So do whatever you want. You're a grown up. Eat whatever the hell you want. I do not care what you eat. But if you're genuinely asking about gentle nutrition, I would say get a wide variety of food in. So if all you're eating is cheese, pizza, and ice cream, that's a lot of dairy, but it's not a lot of like fruit and vegetable. So you are welcome, if you are genuinely asking about gentle nutrition, to add other things in. Don't take anything away. So the 2 tips: eat a wide variety of food, add. So get fruits and vegetables and protein and carbs and treats and your favorite chocolate and smoothies and, just eat all sorts of different things from all different food groups and all types of food. And if you're actively thinking like, I'm not even getting enough nutrients in, like I genuinely want to explore that, add things. Don't take anything away, just add. You love having pizza Friday nights, but it's like kind of gives you a stomach ache and you find you eat too much of it and it doesn't feel good, but you love the taste of it. You could put something with the pizza. Or at restaurants, did you know you can order half fries, half salad? Like maybe you're like, I want the fries and the burger, but I also want the salad. It's like, you can have it all. Add the things you enjoy and add the things that are nourishing that you hopefully still enjoy. And that's where I would end it. Like, I don't think anyone ever needs to go past that. Whereas like this chapter does talk about, oh, this is the kind of food that's good. And this is what
you know what I would add? Yeah, I think we don't want to go too far on this chapter because it genuinely, once you get here, you're kind of like, you don't even need to learn about it because you're just living it.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't want to talk too much about it, especially for somebody who's like, well, I'm not even like, gentle nutrition can make people very nervous. But I think another add-on to this is, yeah, make your food taste good. And that was a key game changer for me because, yeah, sure, I genuinely love fruits and vegetables, but I love them prepared in a certain way, or whatever. It could be prepared in any way, but like the fact that in our way of being on dieters, it's like now you can actually have sauces, butters, spices, oils, all of those things, they were not allowed in dieting. So when you are eating things, it's not like, oh, I better go eat more veggies. Like if you're genuinely like, I really better go eat more veggies because I genuinely feel like it'll just give me more nutrients. You don't have to go snack on raw carrots and celery plain. Like if that's not for you, I mean, I wouldn't want to do that either. Maybe if you add in some like hummus or some dressing, that sounds good to me. But add in vegetables in a way that sounds amazing. You can add it into pasta dishes or add it into, or just roast them in the oven with a bunch of oil and a bunch of spices, or dip it in things. And like, even like, add cheese to things. It's not like if you add cheese to broccoli, it's not like it makes it unhealthy. You still get the benefits of broccoli, and dairy has benefits too. So it's really important to like, how are you, one of the principles was eating with satisfaction. So how can you eat all the varieties of food in a very satisfactory way, like in a pleasurable way even. So really just know that all the add-ons is so
Good
important.
add-ons. Yeah. Enjoyable add-ons.
Yeah, for sure. And that is wellness without the obsession. It's not having, and I'm assuming all of us who are here, we have come from a very diety background. So we know the quote unquote healthy food. We don't need to learn more about brown rice versus white rice, or like vegetables versus, like we know certain foods give us more nutrition, and we know certain foods give us happiness. So just have it all, never take away, add some sauces to it, some butters, some oils, and live your life. And it could be as simple as that. It really could be.
And I think that's why it needs to be simple. Like even when you go through the book, it's like, eat enough of this, drink enough of this, do enough of this. It's like, that does get into more rules almost. And I didn't eat enough vegetables today, I better shove more in, or I'm not going to have this, I'm going to have this. Whereas if you just truly listen to your body with the knowledge of, I want to eat a wide variety of foods, I want to eat from all the food groups, I want to nourish my body, and I want to feel good doing it, and I want it to taste good and be enjoyable, you're naturally going to find your rhythm, because there's no perfect equation for the human body. We all have different size bodies. We all have different tastes. We all have different preferences. We all have different needs. We all have different cravings. So if you're truly doing the 9 principles before gentle nutrition, you likely don't need to do the gentle nutrition one, because it's just like, as a dieter, too much already about food, and like what's healthy and what's not healthy, and what you should eat, and what you need, what nutrients you need, and what minerals you need, and what vitamins you need, and this and that rule. So much about that learning a bit more of that at the end is so useless. It just kind of
just backtrack you.
Yeah.
It backslide.
Yeah. So you really want to just be like, what feels good? What's sensible? As in, what can I add? And some days you might not eat a vegetable. It's not the end of the world. Like you're fine. And some days you might eat lots, and you might have a phase where you're super into smoothies and you're enjoying that every afternoon with your snack. And then you get sick of them and you don't want them anymore. And that's fine. Like it can ebb and flow. And there can be a time in your life where eating is more important to you. Feeling good is more important to you. Nourishing your body is more important to you. So you're putting more time and effort into your meals. And there might be a time in life where it's so hectic, just getting food in your mouth is a miracle. And so you're like getting a lot more takeout, and it's fine. Like everything's fine. And that's a real key part of this whole work. So we hope, as we've gone through these 10 principles with you, you've had a few more ahas than just reading the book, because it is a great resource. And if it's something that like people have no idea about, I think it's a good read. However, it does still kind of leave you with like, here's the rules, here's what you need to do, here's step 1, step 2. And there's not a lot of nuance in it. And so I think discussing it and having a bit of a different perspective can help.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're good on that
Yeah.
principle. I think we have finally done all 10 principles and we have made it through the
We did
intuitive
it.
eating series. I think it'll be a nice place to reference.
Mhm.
Um, if you ever need to come back to the principles, now we have all of this recorded for you on the podcast, so it'll just be a great like check-in without needing to go read an entire book. Or you could. Either way, whatever feels good to you, right? All right, and if you want to grab a freebie of ours, it's a separating weight and wellness workbook. So you could get that at thebodylovesociety.com/workbook. So you can dive into that. I think that would be a really good thing to go work through, especially after this series, because one of the most important things in intuitive eating is really separating the weight and the wellness part of all of this. So go get that. It's all free. And that's it for our series. We'll be back next week with another episode. Bye,
Yeah,
everyone.
man.